It's October 2011. Muammar Gaddafi, the longtime leader of Libya, has just been captured and murdered in a dramatic turn of events that ended his 42-year rule, sealing his fate and that of his closest allies. This was not a sudden coup by internal rivals or a peaceful handover of power. It was something far more chaotic and internationally entangled. But you already know the story. The question now is, how did one of Africa's most enduring figures end up hiding in a drainage pipe, begging for mercy? And what exactly was the critical piece of information that pinpointed his location and led to his downfall? Let's go back a couple of months to March 2011. NATO launched Operation Unified Protector against Gaddafi's regime as the conflict intensified. They did this ostensibly to protect civilians, but effectively providing air support to rebel forces. Gaddafi's troops initially pushed back, but were weakened by targeted strikes from opposition National Transitional Council (NTC), backed by NATO. By August, rebels had captured Tripoli, forcing Gaddafi to flee the capital. But where does a leader like Gaddafi go when his power base crumbles? He retreated to Sirte, his birthplace on the Mediterranean coast, a city of about 100,000 people that became his final stronghold. Sirte wasn't just any location, it was symbolically important, the heart of his tribal support from the Gaddafi clan. But by October, the city was a war zone, bombarded from the air and surrounded by NTC fighters from Misrata. Now, pay close attention. How did Gaddafi manage to stay hidden in Sirte for so long, evading drones, spies, and ground assaults? Reports confirmed he moved between safe houses, relying on a tight circle of bodyguards and family, including his son Mutassim, who commanded the defense. He rarely used communications that could be traced, but isolation breeds desperation. Gaddafi reportedly grew increasingly paranoid, limiting contact even with allies. Well, it turns out the critical piece of information that led to his capture stemmed from intercepted communications. According to confirmed accounts from former NTC officials, Syrian President Bashar al-Assad allegedly provided Gaddafi's phone number to French intelligence in exchange for political leniency on his own regime. This intel allowed Western forces to track Gaddafi's movements, pinpointing him in Sirte's District 2, a small urban pocket where loyalists made their last stand. But you might ask, why would Assad betray Gaddafi? Both had shared anti-Western stances, but in 2011, Assad faced his own uprising and sought favors from France to ease international pressure. His phone number became the golden thread. NATO used it to monitor signals, confirming Gaddafi's presence through voice analysis and location data. But tracking alone wasn't enough. The real turning point came on the morning of October 20, as NTC forces launched a final assault on the remaining buildings in Sirte. Gaddafi's loyalists prepared a breakout. Around 8 a.m., a convoy of about 75 vehicles, SUVs, trucks, and armored pickups attempted to flee westward, weaving through the outskirts under the cover of chaos. Now, the convoy included Gaddafi himself, hiding in one of the vehicles, along with Mutassim and the defense minister, Abubakar Yunis Jab. They carried weapons, cash, and supplies, hoping to reach the deserts and regroup with tribal allies. But how does a massive convoy escape unnoticed in a besieged city? Well, they didn't. A US Predator drone patrolling from above as part of NATO's surveillance spotted the suspicious movement. Drones like the Predator are equipped with high-resolution cameras and Hellfire missiles, capable of loitering for hours. The operators identified the vehicles as pro-Gaddafi due to mounted weapons and military markings. In a swift strike, the drone fired missiles, hitting the lead vehicle and scattering the convoy. Moments later, a French jet joined in, dropping 500-pound guided bombs that destroyed more cars and caused mass confusion. The airstrike killed dozens instantly, but Gaddafi survived the initial blasts. He was wounded but alive. Bleeding and dazed, he and a handful of survivors, including Mutassim and Eunice, fled on foot. Now, where could they possibly hide in an open battlefield? They stumbled upon a pair of large concrete drainage pipes under a nearby road. Gaddafi crawled into one of them, clutching his golden pistol, a 9mm weapon he had carried as a symbol of power. His bodyguard formed a perimeter, but NTC fighters from Misrata, advancing on the wreckage, heard shouts and opened fire. The rebels approached the pipes, yelling for anyone inside to surrender. Gaddafi emerged slowly, hands up, his face bloodied and clothes torn. He was disoriented, reportedly muttering, "What did I do to you?" as fighters dragged him out. One rebel, Omran Shaban, later claimed credit for finding him, posing with the golden gun as a trophy, but the capture turned violent quickly. Videos show Gaddafi being beaten, his hair pulled, and even sodomized amid the frenzy. Mutassim was captured nearby and executed. Eunice had already died in the crossfire. Gaddafi, too, didn't survive long. Pulled onto a truck hood, he was shot in the head and abdomen, dying en route to Misrata. And all this could have been prevented at several junctures. Gaddafi had proposed ceasefire earlier in the war, but they were rejected amid NATO's push. NATO was fully aware of his ambitions. He had envisioned a gold-backed diner for the continent, challenging the US dollar's dominance, a move some believe hastened Western intervention, as emails from Hillary Clinton's server later revealed concerns over Libya's gold reserves and currency plans.